What do you think to what Gary Neville said last week? Me, being honest, I was really disappointed in him. He should be using his platform to unite people, not divide them.
Literally pulled into a meeting room to be told, we don't want you, we don't need you.
Unlucky, son.
Like, gonna run out of money soon. Then I said, bring me on as a consultant. Every 3 months I've not delivered a result, we'll call it there.
Time and time again, I see people spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on marketing.
I always say this, operations gets ignored.
If you're at home, are you truly locked in, working? I've got to be completely honest with you. It's a massive blocker to growth.
Did I go and watch Netflix? Did I go to the gym? Did I do my washing? What was I working at full output? I'm talking around a culture of people. If you genuinely believe, why do you offer that? Oh, well, we have to. It opens up the recruitment. It blocks us from getting the right people. What I was seeing on LinkedIn was lies. Then the next week, they're posting about, oh, we're doing this.
We've smashed it.
And I'm sat there thinking, you're not sort of an individual business owner. It's probably the loneliest place, in my opinion, I've ever been in my life. I think you can go to networking events, they're not authentic, giving a name badge. I sat down and me and Sam said we were going to go up to Snowdon. And we had the idea of why don't we just put an open invite on it? And the fact is, everyone was striving to the same goal of summiting the highest peak in Wales. Conversation, I've had that.
Yeah.
This is how we could help. It doesn't happen in a networking event.
Hi, I'm Justin Blackhurst. I'm introducing the State Ahead of Ready podcast, and today we've got on a great guest, Phil Woodbridge from Nexastride.
Hi Justin, thank you for having us today. Pleasure to be here.
Me and Phil have worked together quite a lot in the last few years, and each time we talk, we sit together and talk about many topics, whether it's business, life. We always have a lot to discuss. So welcome to Phil, and how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me in this great studio, Justin.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, like you say, it's we've known each other a number of years. We always have great conversations, and we thought, why not then? Let's give it a go.
Absolutely. So I think telling any story, I think the best place to start is at the beginning. So do you want to tell people about yourself, where you're from, what you've got into, and what you're doing now, and what your ambition is for the future?
Throw me right in it there. Yeah, so I've got a business that was set up 2.5 years ago called Nexastride. But before that was sort of my background of failed footballer, as a lot of lads would probably say. Got into sales, contact centres, loved it. Regardless of what the stigma is about contact centres, it is absolutely, it's sink or swim basically. So I started there from 18. I was there for 13 years, working up from like a sales agent up to a senior operations manager, looking after 700 staff across 3 different sites. But to be honest, at that point, I just thought I wanted to try something different because it was all I knew in my career with sales and customer service. So I went into e-commerce, and that's where I really started learning around AI. And this was going back 7-8 years ago before the buzzword really took off. And that was looking at how you could use AI technologies to streamline your operation, help you scale as a business, but ultimately doing what's right for your customer, because people still use it now to cut cost, and it's the wrong way of using it. At that point, I was headhunted for a ops director position for a tech company in Manchester. Thought I landed my dream job, which it turned out to be. And that's where we met. And from there, 3 months in, literally pulled into a meeting room to be told, we don't want you, we don't need you.
Unlucky, son.
Pretty much, mate. Yeah, it's like unlucky.
Brutal.
We know you've got a wife, we know you've got a kid, but see you later, basically.
Yeah. Well, I just, I was involved in that project as well. It was disappointing how it turned out. It didn't turn out as we both envisaged, but I've watched your journey over the last 2 years, and you've definitely used that situation to your advantage. And do you want to tell people what the journey was after that? Because it was quite a desperate position, wasn't it? You were put in?
It was desperate. I had a bit of money saved away, which I was very lucky for. Again, any advice for anyone listening, save a pot. You never know what's going to happen. And it was pretty much first 4 weeks, I was like, yeah, it's okay. I'll get a job. Now, I'd been shattered a little bit, really, confidence, because it had never happened before. Told you about my career, I'd always worked up. I started applying for jobs, and it's when the market was very difficult. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I was very arrogant to think, well, do you know what? I've had a great career.
Yeah.
I know my work.
I'll be straight in somewhere at the top.
I'll be straight in somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was going to interviews and it was the same feedback. Really like you. Very assumptive. We can't afford you. We can't do this. We can't do that. And then this was sort of 3 months, and I said to like my wife, Jen, was like, "Going to run out of money soon. Got a mortgage. Got a daughter. Got to support you." And then I went to what I thought was going to be a last stage interview, and I drove up to Newcastle for it. And I was willing to commute to Newcastle just to get this income.
I remember talking to you about it.
Yeah. And it was the same conversation. Again, they just said, "Really sorry, Phil. We really want you. Business needs you."
Because I didn't know you that well at the time, and like we were talking a bit, and you're always conscious of not giving unsolicited advice to somebody and overstepping the mark. But I thought to myself, he wants to travel all the way up there, and then I watched the penny drop with you over the period of time and you got your confidence back, where I can do this myself. I can reshape my career.
Yeah, that was exactly it. And I was expecting a job offer, and they got up and said, "Really sorry, we can't afford that salary right now." And I was like, I'm desperate. So as I stood up to shake the hand and thank them for the time, I had that light bulb moment. It's like, well, wait a minute. People have mentioned consultancy. People said you'd be good in it. And it just came out of nowhere, Justin. I said, "Well, what budget have you got then?" And I said, "Oh, well, with cash flow and this, we've got X amount." So I said, "I'll tell you what then, bring me on as a consultant." And they looked at each other, because there was two of them. They looked at each other, it's like, "Oh, well, we've tried consultants before, it didn't work." So I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, this time, do it differently. I'm that confident I can turn your business around, you're in control of it. Let's use that budget to allocate X amount of days a week. If at the end of the 3 month I've not delivered results, we'll call it there. You've got nothing to lose." And within that 3 months, I got them to grow by 30% from bottom line sales.
And then that's a no-brainer for them to continue, isn't it?
No-brainer, and still a client today on that retainer model, because again, this is a sales pitch. I think the market now for fractional work is massive, because people have that reservation for what people used to call consultants, and what they did, they'd go in, charge you thousands to give you a bit of paper with stuff you already knew on it. Fractional isn't that. I go in, I do it, I deliver, I track everything.
Yeah, and I'm obviously CEO of Digital Next, and our premise is to grow companies online through digital marketing. But I find myself increasingly in conversations with companies about improving their operational potential and efficiencies and all of that sort of stuff. Because time and time again, I see people spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on marketing, when actually they could reshape things, improve the operation, so they're not spending as much and get a better result at the end of it.
I always say this. I believe that operations gets ignored.
Yeah.
Or when you have a service team, or what's a contact center? It's anyone that's dealing with customer queries. It's seen as a cost to a business because you're not generating revenue there and then. So it gets neglected.
Yeah.
Or when you're scaling, things build on top of it, and then you lose track of the foundations. So a lot of the time you can be generating revenue, but you're hemorrhaging cash. What is the cheapest way to improve your bottom line? Is it putting a big spend around marketing, which is needed? Is it increasing your sales team, or is it not better to make the revenue you've already got in the business more profitable?
I think the future is having smaller teams of more capable people, but actually utilising technology. And I know you're a big advocate for AI and automation. Digital Next, we're seeing a lot more inquiries for businesses wanting to connect APIs of various softwares that don't talk to each other, that highlight things to staff internally so they can, do their job better. What are you seeing in terms of, was you worried when AI became such a big buzzword for yourself and your career? Because do you think it was going to try to, I don't know, delete what you do?
No, not at all. I wouldn't say I was worried. I was more worried for the people that were jumping on the bandwagon. And what I mean by that is AI. I tell you what, one of my favourite films as a kid was Short Circuit. And Short Circuit 2, I think, was filmed in...
Johnny Five.
Johnny Five. I think it was filmed in 85, 86.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
Something like that. And I was trying to get my eldest Kendall to get into it the other day. And in that, they were talking around AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been there. People have just jumped on this hype of, AI. And it's overcomplicated. It's basically... You're opening up access to the data that you've got available to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that, and then using that for flows. It'll always need human intervention. What scared me more was the fact that people thought they could bring it in to purely cut costs, which was at detriment of customer journeys, business reputation. And I mean, I won't name names, but there's one big company in the courier world that did this. I lost a hell of a lot of customers on the back of it because they kept customers in this loop using AI because they were just doing it to deflect contact and cut costs.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing worse than being stuck in a lift and going up and down and not being able to get out, is there?
I've had that happen before.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's it. And so, no, it didn't worry me because as I say, I first did my... if we call it AI or chatbots, however you want to call it. I
remember first talking, that was one of our first conversations. You was talking about chatbots. And to be honest, it wasn't something I was really looking at or have ever looked at. And then I started to think, maybe he's got a point.
Do you know what? If any business has customer data somewhere, whether it's used or not is a different story. So in the interest of time, very top level, quick case study, client that I had used to work off live chat. Mm-hmm. So they used to take, over 1 million chats a year, comfortably. So all we did is we pulled that data, we looked at the top reasons for contact, and then we looked at where that data was stored. Was it in the CRM? Yes, it was. Okay, well, this customer, 10% of your contact, they're asking this thing. Why are we not just giving them access to that data? And it's as simple as that. So you use customer data to create your journeys, not what you think the journey should be.
Yes.
And that way...
So the mistake people make.
It is.
I've made that mistake in the past. I've got a certain way of thinking about a topic or a situation, and I try and implement something that I think's right. Whereas you're right, looking at all the data and then moving into that data is a better approach, isn't it?
It is, and even to reinforce that data, I've done recent work where I've actually gone and spoke to the client's customers myself, said, right, where are your pain points? What would you like to see? There's too many businesses that have got an idea that will then either go and try and raise investment or they'll put a load of money into it, and I don't know if you see this, to build this shiny tool that's not even been sanity checked with it's what the customers actually want, and got data to back up the right reasons.
I was watching The Dragon's Den last night, and the woman, what's her name? She's part of Skim. Is it Skims, the fashion brand? The New Dragon.
I'm not watching this season.
Can't remember her name, but anyway, she was. There was this woman pitching about how much money she's burning through in her startup business. And she's just like, you've got to stop drinking the Kool-Aid of thinking, like, pumping your business through money, when get back to the basics, turn the ads off and see if this is a sustainable business. Loads of people make that mistake, and you don't need to. And I think we're living in a world right now where people want instant results. They want instant success. They want £1 million in the bank account. But for me, ultimate success in anything that I've done has always been doing the basics right and building on them foundations. And I think that's what you're aiming to, really, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. You've got to master the basics, and that's a cliche saying, but you have to. And a lot of businesses don't know what their basics are. And a lot of the time, we're very reactive to when something goes wrong. Something goes wrong, we try and reinvent the wheel, do things we won't normally do. And it's getting back to those basics. So it's just as important to look at what works well rather than what you need to do when it's not working well.
I mean, I was on one in a management meeting last week, coming up with a few things that we're doing wrong recently. And I think I spoke to you after it. It was a few customer service checkpoints. And someone stopped me and it was like, what about all this stuff we're doing right as well? So it's easy to go down that rabbit hole and feel bad about things not being perfect. Yes, you've got to work on things, but focusing on the positives as well is always important, isn't it?
You just got to look at the world that we're in today. How fast is it evolving? So regardless of how well you're doing,
you plug one hole, there's going to be more along the way.
any business should be evolving, which means you're always going to have challenges and you're always going to have to do new things. And as I say, there's that much debate. Post-pandemic, we're probably still in a form of a hangover of what is right and wrong at the minute. I mean, I know another conversation that we've talked around a lot is the sort of culture and values of businesses. What are your views on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going through another process at the minute with Digital Next. With before Christmas, we're sort of treating this as a dress rehearsal for how we're gonna operate in 2026. Yeah. So we're getting all our ducks in a row, and we're working on lots of things from customer service right down to what is our mission. What are we actually? What are we here to do for businesses? Why do they like us? And let's build on all that sort of stuff. So I'm building a new mission for Digital Next between now and Christmas. You're gonna be involved in it as well. So you've got to understand what your business is doing. You see so many businesses get lost along the way, and people do as well. They forget who they are, and when you strip it all back, you've got to realise what the true underlying value of your business and the services that you provide. It's really important.
I agree with that, mate. I mean, it was only Penny finally dropped his. Even 18 months into business, I used to go to networking events and people say, Phil, what is it you do then? As I felt like I was trying to impress.
What's your elevator pitch?
Yeah, what I said was like, oh, well, I can pretty much do anything. I can do people, blah, blah, blah. And it would overwhelm people to the point where I was getting muddled up. And I had a session with a former colleague of mine. She used to be one of my agents and she's now a sales coach and a very good sales coach. And she's like, I'll tell you what, Phil, I'll just come and see you. And she said to me, tell me what it is you do. And I was going around the houses. She goes, no, what is it you do? She goes, forget like trying to make it sound fancy. Bottom of it is, what do you do? I said, well, I'll go and sit with boards and I'll help them reduce the cost and increase the profits. And she went, that's it.
Yeah.
She goes, that's exactly what you do. You go into businesses operationally, stop the leakage, reduce the cost, increase the profits.
Yeah.
Like, right, okay, that makes sense. What do you do? What's your format when you go in there? I was like, well, people first always, because you've got to work with the team. She goes, right, people, that's good. Well, what else do you do? I look at the processes, I look at the systems, look at the data. And just by having that conversation of what it is I actually do, that set me up for how I went in and pitched and what my values and what the business was about.
Yeah, I get a lot of startup businesses and, established businesses asking my advice and looking at what they think they should do. And like you say, they're trying to be the jack of all trades. And what a lot of startups make the mistake of is not productizing their offering. So it's very clear for a customer that comes in, so they can say, right, I'm going to buy that, and that's what I want. It can be too broad, can't it? Because it's like your title, consultant. It's very broad, isn't it? Consultant of what? I'm not trying to have a dig, but it's like, is consultant coming? Like, what is it that he'll do when he comes in? And that's what you've had to work out, isn't it?
It's still to this day when people say to me, "What's your title?" It's like, it's entrepreneur. Am I really? I set up a business because I was desperate and I had to do it. There's no other option for me. Does that make me an entrepreneur? I don't know. Founder.
I always think entrepreneur's like a term probably other people should say about you rather than like, because I've always been like you're shy of saying that. Yeah. Because I wouldn't call me that. No. I just get on with people and I do things and try and put good people together.
That's it. But again, sort of what you're saying about startups and the journeys and stuff. What do you reckon, if anyone listening, if you could give startups some advice, it would be? And I guess based on what's just happened to me recently, that I've done a lot on LinkedIn about that.
First piece of advice is really assess who it is you're getting into business with. If you've got a partner, are they right? Is the setup correct? Are you both being completely transparent with each other? Yeah. Because it's like having a business. It's like being married. You're so connected to each other. And
I tell you what, well, that's a really good point, actually. So you're in business with your brother, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you find, do you see that as an advantage or a disadvantage that it's your actual family?
When we first started, I was like, this could be tricky. But then what I've found is, Mark's, we've always been good at keeping each other grounded, no matter what the point is. And because we're family members, we could say things to each other that might be a bit brutal, but we can get away with saying it to each other. Whereas somebody who's not as close, you couldn't do that. So you can get to the point quicker. So I think that's a positive, for me.
Do you know what? I'd agree with that. And it was a conversation that got brought up on the pre-event at the 42 the other week, because there was a couple of lads that are in Manchester based who were flying as well, marketing agency. They were talking about that, and I'd agree with you. If you've got that transparency and that brutal honesty, you're gonna get there quicker, aren't you?
Yeah, and definitely, I think the first focus for any business is, you need to get sales on the board. Too many people try to. You hear this term pre-revenue, and people are waiting to get everything perfect before they start selling and getting it out to market. But you only know how a service or a product's gonna react once it's in the market.
And and from what I see as well, that's only when you know what your sort of start to invoice process is as a business as well, operationally.
Yeah.
You can try and do all the best mapping in the world, but until it actually happens, you're not really nowhere.
It's all get thrown out the window, isn't it?
It is, mate, it is. And again, it's even when the first thing I'll do in any project is I'll go map out the full end-to-end process, because that's where you'll see where a lot of the friction comes from. Is it on your handover between departments? And I'll tell you now, there won't be a lot of people that admit to this. One of the biggest friction points in any business is how it's gone from one department to the other, because of the lack of transparency, lack of visibility.
Sales have sold something, they're not managed the expectations right. Production are like, what's going on here? And then it's like, guys, what has happened here?
But then when you're looking at it there and then, it's like, we just had a record month on sales. But when that customer comes to you in 18 months, that retention rate ain't staying.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Can end up in carnage if you don't get them things right, can't it?
Yeah. So what have you found with like your sort of business and that trial run, and then going into sort of next year? You're planning on getting the guys in, because this is a conversation we've had quite a lot on, I guess, in it, of culture. And when people talk around culture and creating the best culture, they then say you need to be in front of people to create that. What's your view on that?
I'd say right now we've hired probably 4 or 5 new people, and they are
congratulations.
They're great people, they're great additions to our business. And so, as I said, I'm reshaping the culture of the business. And I'd say we probably did, between COVID, like a lot of businesses, and up until 18 months ago, we were stagnating quite a bit, and it was difficult to get out of that cycle and create change, because we didn't want to hire new people because we were still worried about the economy. So I've gone for it now. We've hired 4 or 5 new people, and we're just reshaping everything. And I think you can only get the culture right if you get the mission right. And what I'm doing at the minute is putting together a big plan where all the numbers for goals and how we socialise and how we should be together as a team and how we should talk to each other, how we should communicate, we're putting it all into it. Because if you've got a goal of hitting a certain number, let's say by 2027 or whenever the date you pick, unless all them things are aligned and you're all communicating as a team correctly, that number is never going to happen.
No.
Never. And it's down to so many different factors. So you can judge performance of people through like in sales, how many sales they've got on the board. But I like to look at how people are interacting with their fellow colleagues. And, if someone's struggling with a project, I think it's a really strong value and trait of somebody if they reach out to another colleague and help them and elevate them and lift them up. And that should be recognised more within businesses, because there's people within so many businesses that are doing things that they don't advertise. They don't want to go to the boss and say, I'm doing this, that and the other.
Yeah.
But take them out of that situation.
You see it.
You'll go, what's just happened there? Like, we undervalued him. He's moved to another job because he was doing all these things and we didn't recognise it.
Yeah. It's really interesting you say that, because sort of Avail, who sort of I do fractional COO work for, we've just done something very similar there. So they were saying, how do we promote this? How do we get on top of things with the people? So very basic, mate. I've said, well, let's do a monthly business review where they all come together, present back, but then they have weekly one-to-ones. And what they'll do is, rather than go straight into numbers based on what their clear KPIs and targets are. So when you start mentioning stuff like that, I don't know if you agree, people think, wow, that's there to catch me out. It's not. It's to look at what works well. And you use it to reverse engineer if you're going to grow as a business based on that delivery there that someone's doing. If you brought another one of them in, what you're going to get for it are your ROI. So that's why you've got them, and they should be treated that way. But going back to the point, it's a 4-page document. They present back every week to me. First slide is a pride slide. What did I do that I'm really happy with? What am I passionate about? What have I done really well this week that I want to talk about?
Yeah.
Then it'll move on to the KPIs and the targets. Then the final one is sort of what the biggest win has been, what the block has been, and what the lesson's been. But then the last question on that slide is, how have I helped, or what have I done to engage my other team members? And the reason I put that in there is to not force collaboration, but then get them thinking about how they can transfer their skills cross-department. Yeah. And we've not even prompted this before that, and you're already thinking it, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting, because I look back at any time in life, and if you the team that you're in, whether if you played sport in the past or a team that you're working with in a work situation, if the camaraderie is there and you're all together, they're the memorable moments of life, aren't they? The majority of us spend most of the time working. Yeah. Let's make it fun.
So where do you stand with sort of hybrid working then in this day and age? Because this will open up a minefield now. So I don't mind sort of...
I've got to be completely honest with you. I don't think hybrid working works at all. I think it's a massive blocker to growth. I think there's things that could be nipped in the bud if you're sat in the same room together. Yeah. Whereas if you're hybrid, you're having to set up a video call. It's got to be structured. Is that person available? I think it's something that's come in since COVID, and I think it's been a really bad thing for businesses. I think there's some slightly good elements to it, whereas people can get. I don't know, people probably see it as a way of getting their personal maintenance done, like doing their washing and all of that sort of stuff. And if you're at home, are you truly locked in working? I'd question productivity. And it's not about monitoring people and micromanaging people. I just see the great value in being sat together with your team on a mission. We've not got all the time in the world here. We only live once. Yeah. Let's work together and get to the, from A to Z as quickly as possible together. And only by pulling together you can do that, I think.
I mean, I've done both. When I was when we were in the first pandemic, and I was...
You made comment on LinkedIn about, I can't remember whose post it was, last week with regard to hybrid working.
Yeah, as I say, I've done both. I've had the ability of working from home. Obviously, this was a previous employer, so I may as well be honest. Was I at full utilisation? No. Did I go and watch Netflix? Yeah. Did I go to the gym during the day? Yeah. Did I do my washing? Yeah. But could I still get my work done to the same ability as someone else because I work fast? Yes. Did it impact the quality of my work or my work volume? But was I working at full output? No. So my view on it is that there's people out there at the minute that talk around a culture and people have got to be together to create that culture, all the things that you've just said. But then they follow it up with, well, my team do 2 days at home a week. Why? If you genuinely believe that you need your team together for culture and to build and to scale as fast as you can and to back each other, why do you offer that? Oh, well, we have to. It opens up the recruitment and it blocks us from getting the right people. But again, the question is it the right person for you if they're dictating from day one?
If that's what you want.
If that's what, if you really want, if I was going for a job and it was my job that I really wanted and they said to me, you've got to come in 5 days a week, am I then going to go back and push on 2 days at home? No. So I don't understand this whole business aspect of, oh, well, we do agree with it, but you have 2 days at home. It creates a divide as well because, again, a lot of clients I'm with, it's like, oh, all the techies, because they're locked in, they can work at home. Again, I understand it, but you've already created a divide, which is going against your culture, your values, but your team being together.
And I might be wrong, this is my opinion. If a client or a customer sees a staff member or yourself working at home, straight away, I don't think it's professional. I think it's the professionalism of everything in business.
Yeah,
I think it's been degraded. I think things like hybrid working degrade that, and it erodes away at the. Not that my business hasn't got a super corporate culture at all by any stretch of the imagination, but it just all these things erode what you're here to do. And it's the mission of getting from where you need to do and getting ahead of your competitors.
Yeah. I mean, sort of last view on this, and I will say it because it's what I think is, even though I'm saying that being together every single day, it will help you. I think looking at it from the other side and talking from someone that's got 2 kids, I know that there'll be a lot of people out there from working at home that can pick up the kids from school rather than have to do breakfast clubs and after school clubs. It will save them a fortune.
Yeah.
So that's where we do see the benefit, because the cost of living is only getting harder.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go down this whole government loophole. I'm probably a little bit sensitive over my lack of knowledge of my recent corporation and personal tax bills myself, but they're just making it harder. Cost of living's going up. It's damaging businesses. So I think from that side, that would be the main positive that I see from it.
No, I agree with you.
There's people and families out there that are going to be saving a substantial amount.
I think that's a great thing to be able for the dad or the mum to pick the kids up from school. It's like amazing, that, isn't it? Because kids always remember that.
They do, and that's where sort of, again, it's kind of like me. I'll get in early. I'll make sure I'm in the office, but then I'll leave and do a school pickup.
Yeah.
And then I'll do the remainder at home, but I will always be present in the office each day.
Yeah.
Because it makes a massive difference.
Yeah. I think we've got our points across on that one.
Yeah.
We're not being negative and horrible to people who want the hybrid situation to continue. My opinion is, my overriding opinion is, I don't think it's conducive to moving at speed.
No, and I think the last point for me then is, does it work? Can it work? Yes, but I think it depends on where you're at as a business and what size you are personally.
Yeah.
Like you say, if you're looking to scale and fast and you're a growing team, there's more added benefit to having more of an office presence.
Yeah. I think we've said enough on this one, haven't we? Next point I probably want to talk about is something that it's a difficult one, financial literacy for business people. Now, whatever stage you're at, unless you've been a highly trained accountant and then you go and set up a business, you're going to know about finances. And understanding all of the mechanics of running a business, what VAT is, what gross profit is, what net profit is, what all these terms for finance, when things should be paid by. No one teaches you all this. If you've started a business and you're strong at sales and marketing and maybe operations and you've got your business moving, unless you've got a financial director from day one who's a fully qualified accountant, you don't know what you don't know.
No.
So, what are your thoughts on that? Because a lot of businesses and business people that set up, you know, they do make some mistakes. I've made mistakes in the past. I'm sure lots of people have. And what do you think should be put in place for business owners to give them that literacy in finance, to give them that grounding so they you know, things do run smoothly on that side of it?
It's a difficult question because I'm talking personally now because I've literally just been through this, and anyone that follows me on LinkedIn will see my content recently.
I've just hired my first part qualified accountant within the team.
Yeah.
And he's been brilliant.
It will be, but there's a lot of people that are starting off on their own, like
can't afford that,
and they can't afford that. I think the Gov websites are a minefield.
Looking at accountancy firms, who you trust.
Yeah. I mean, probably stuff like this. I mean, where I probably got a lot of my best advice from was from Instagram Reels.
Right.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I mean, advice-wise here, for very top level, I was recommending to start an account and they come at a fee. And it's like, right, okay, fine to pay that. Never really sat down because all I was looking at was chasing revenue. Month one, landing my first invoice, 15k at month one. I was like, wow, like made it. I'd never seen that money before. We're moving. So money was coming in, and every quarter I was paying my VAT. So
VAT return,
VAT return. So on my sale, 20%. So that 20% would just go into a VAT pot. Then in my head, always from day one, I was like, well, this isn't my money. Even though it's my business, it's not my money. It's the business's money. So I was always putting between 40 and 50% of my money away, just because, do you know what? I actually don't know why. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I just did it. Good practice. We were sort of going on, and then the more you network and the more you speak to people, it's like, well, you're putting that through the business, you're putting this through the business. I didn't have a clue what these people were saying, and you didn't want that to discredit yourself as a business owner doing well, that you didn't understand this stuff. So I just nod along and bury my head in the sand and think, oh, well, I'll deal with it when it comes.
Yeah.
And it only got to the point
Magic fairy will come along.
Yeah, that was it. And you don't have to declare your taxes for year one when you're a new business. I think that's right. Or you don't have to, you're not paying your first year's tax. But then again, it's like, how do you pay yourself out of the business? I used to hear this term, dividends. I still don't technically know what that means. You're paying yourself out the profits is how I don't explain it now. But it's always like paying yourself this salary, so you're most tax efficient.
Salary bands.
Yeah. So it was all
and
that.
Life happens as well, doesn't it? You know, you might be paying yourself what the company can afford as the right salary for what you're doing, and doing all them things, putting money away for a rainy day, let's say.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you've got children and other things happen in life, and you need to use funds, don't you? And it's a balancing act again. It's a difficult balancing act.
It is, but it's understanding where those thresholds are and what you do. And what I would suggest to anyone is understanding that. So understanding where your tax-free allowance is for a salary starting point, and then on top of that, you have a threshold where you'll have tax on a certain amount of your dividends at 8 to 9%. But then when you go over that, it jumps to 33%. Now, that's what had happened to me, because last year, Jem was on mat leave, earning £600 a month. I just had a newborn baby, who were trying to get into nursery as soon as we could. Everyone knows nursery fees, they're extortionate. And then I had my eldest Kendall, 6, who was wanting to do all these other things, gymnastics. And as I said on my video, she was never going to go.
The list is never ending.
Yeah, it's never ending. So
and then going back to yourself, you want holidays and just enjoy life.
Yes. So it got to the point.
And then the cost of living. That's just flying.
Everything. So people saying, are you doing X, Y, and Z? I thought, I need to speak to my accountant and say, what's going on? I've not done no, I tell you what, no, I've got my mortgage is coming up for renewal, and my mortgage advisor was like, have you got your UTR number, I think it is, your tax returns? So I got in touch with my accountant, no, we're not done it yet. So it just got to the point where I thought, I'm going to have to pull the plug and go with someone that came highly recommended. It cost me to move. but that cost already paid for itself. And it was only when then sitting down and saying, right, well, you've spent that, Phil, you've spent that, you can't be putting that through, you've gone over that, here's what you owe. And a few days later on now, I can look at it and go, well, number one, it's a positive because I've done well with the business earning as much as I have.
At least you know the position now.
Yeah. But I now know the position where rather than just saying, right, I've got to put that away, I've now got 4 different pots in my business bank account. When my money comes in, it's got an automated rule that puts the percentages into these accounts.
Yeah.
But even though that I do this with a common thing that I see with consultants or solopreneurs or individual business owners, like I know you'll have all this, is I'll go on them and say, you need a structured P&L, you need a cash flow. I didn't have any of that for myself.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, years ago, we didn't even have a proper set of management accounts.
Yeah.
We do now. We have P&Ls on every department. We have the management accounts is the compass for the business on what we're going to be doing next month, and are we on target? Are we on budget? What is the budget for something?
Yeah.
You know, we're doing some marketing. Oh, have a budget for it.
Yeah,
do a 12-month plan. I've been guilty of being sporadic with, we're doing this podcast today. I mean, always things come up and good ideas come up, and then they have to be funded, don't they?
They do, yeah.
But then it's understanding. Like me, my nature is I'm always coming up with ideas, but what I've done for next year is I know I'll come up with loads of ideas, so let's budget for these random marketing events that we do. Like I did the paddle event, and
Great
that was
event, by probably the best event I've been to, by the way.
Yeah, it was mega, wasn't it? And that came randomly as a chat in the office between a few of us. Jad, I think you know, Mark, my brother. And then before we knew it, we had 24 companies. And I had to get a venue. And it was an amazing day. At one point, there was about 100 people there. Got everybody together. Everyone networked. And, you know, you can budget for things, but you've got to have a bit of flair as well and do things at times. But I think I've gone completely off topic here. But it does relate back to finances. That event cost a lot of money. But it was great for the staff. But, you know, you can plan ahead for these things is what I'm trying to say. And
I'd agree with that.
Having solid spreadsheets with them in.
Yeah, because that's kind of all I've done now. I've built my own P&L.
Yeah.
I know what money is expecting to come in. I know what my expenses are. What goes out when, and then what my cash flow is. And I've done that for the next 18 months now.
Yeah.
And I've set myself
Sounds boring, doesn't it?
Do you know what? it does sound boring, but it's interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
It's interesting because I look at that now.
Yeah.
And I see a number at the end of it and think, how do I make that better?
Yeah.
How do I then go and...
Knowing what I know now.
Yeah. How do I improve as a business? How do I go and win more business? How do I get in front of the right people? Because again, I think one of the hardest sales is consultancy, because it's like you said at the start. What is it you look?
I think you've been really good at. There's loads of consultants on LinkedIn, but I think you've been really good at getting your key strengths across, especially on LinkedIn and things like for people who don't know you. So that'd be advice that I'd probably say, like, look at what Phil's done in how he operates to other people, and really make it clear your offering clear.
Yeah.
And
I think that was key, to be honest, mate.
And you as a person as well, coming across as a real person on LinkedIn, telling your story and the truth of your journey, that helps people buy into you as well.
It's too false LinkedIn though. I went through a period because I post a lot, and I went through a period of going really quiet on it because I won't say I was in a bad or dark place or anything, but what I was seeing on LinkedIn was lies, and it's a bit like social media for the younger generation now. It was painting a picture of people doing something that wasn't real.
Yeah,
it was painting a picture of what success should be, when I've been sat in situations knowing what's going on in some businesses. Then the next week they're posting about, oh, we're doing this.
We've smashed it.
And I'm sat there thinking, you're not. So why are you trying to... I get it. Do you know what? This would be good to get your insight, actually. Is it good marketing? Is it marketing to say that you're doing better than you are?
I think the veil is being moved. People understand things aren't all rosy, but then there's a percentage of people who will see stuff like that and get buzzed up by it.
Yeah.
For me, I think if you're experienced and you're smart about how you operate and you see those sorts of things, if you've done bits in your career, you can spot that straight away. I think.
Yeah.
You can spot a bullshitter straight away, can't you? But do you know what? Bullshitters come dressed as opportunities sometimes to a lot of people, and that comes back to focus, because with success and you start doing well, you can get distracted, and opportunities can come along that you get involved in that diverts you away from what actually made you successful in the first place.
I think that kind of happened with me. I won't say it happened with me slightly, but I guess I was always looking at ways in which I could improve the Nexastride brand rather than being known as a consultant, hence bringing Lewis on, who does all of our media stuff.
Yeah.
Must admit though that is flying at the minute.
People want content, don't they?
They do, and I think when they see that we do it again, we undersell it. We completely undersell ourselves. And now I know what I know about the corporation tax and so on. We had a call yesterday, funnily enough, and we're looking at it and we're like, well, after we've done all that and we've paid that, I think on this one job where we're going to do half a day's filming and 12 reels on the back of it, it's like, we're going to get 100 quid for it, Lewis.
Prices need to go up.
We're going to have to change our pricing, but do you know what we've done, mate? We've done a couple of... we did 3 proposals yesterday for upcoming work. And you know what? We've actually told them on these proposals. I don't know. Again, I'd rather you be honest with me on this, genuinely. We've actually shown them where the money is sort of going. So we're saying this is tax, bang, bang. And we've been full transparent with the pricing model. So we've gone on and said, right, it's going to take this time.
I think that'll work if you're selling into a business owner. If you're selling into a marketing manager, it's a no.
So these have all gone out to individual business owners who are looking to promote their businesses through Instagram or using it as reels. And the reason we wanted to do that was, again, for education, but also that they'd understand that we've not upping prices to rip you off, but this is the genuine where this money goes and what our profit is we're taking. We want to show you what we're taking out of this
the value of it all. I say that to our guys all the time, because it can, account manager can be dealing with a marketing director and everything goes through that person. Sometimes we're guilty of not showing them the teams and the interactions we're having internally to get that result for that company. And on reports, just mention everyone's name who's, been part of creating something for someone. Because there's so many hidden superstars on projects that the client doesn't know about, especially from our point of view. And I'm trying to really promote that and get people to get that across, because it's important. It adds massive value, doesn't it? It
does, mate. And I know we said we were going to talk about this, and it might be jumping through the format of the meeting, but what you've just said there in your business is exactly what I've done with this recent out of office club. And I think, without getting too deep, when you can say that you work with clients, but when you are sort of an individual business owner, it's probably the loneliest place, in my opinion, I've ever been in my life. As in, your mates don't really understand who you are
what
anymore.
You're doing.
They don't understand what you're doing. They can't understand why you're not switching off.
I had a comment last week. Well, my brother did, actually. They said to him, it wasn't offensive or anything. They just said, "Are you two still trying to take over the world?" And my brother told me that's what someone said to him. And I said, "I hope you told them, yeah, we have, and we've completed it, and we're going again." Because it was a bit of a sly comment, really, because all we're doing is being enthusiastic and putting it out there. And I think you're from a similar background to me. I've not been brought up with a silver spoon.
No.
And I've not got a palace. We've been brought up from what you'd consider humble, normal beginnings. Very good family, but you know, I've not been brought up with millions and millions of pounds at my disposal to put on to set companies up and have a comfortable life. I've had to work. Me and my brother have had to work for everything that we've got.
Yeah.
But we were very lucky that our parents pushed us into university and always were there for us. And you know, from a background where my mum and dad were the people that had my dad would drive the car, and before there was legalities on how many people you could have in the car, we'd have the whole football team in my dad's car. Because most of, and I still see it now, loads of family, because my brother's a football manager for both of his sons, and you see a lot of parents turn up, drop the kids off, and they don't even watch.
What's that on the phones about, aren't they?
Yes, and it's crazy, but that's the background I'm from, and last weekend he had a good. I'm just boasting about my brother's under-13s football team here, but they had a good win, and you could see all the kids were buzzing because what they'd been working on in training came into the game. They were passing it in triangles, they were moving the ball about, and they beat this team that bullied them a few months ago. And you're relating that to business, you know, however big your business is, there's always a way of stealing market share from big competition, because, you know, sleeping giants, a lot of these companies, and there's opportunity to be had always. And I mean, people, you hear it all the time, people at the minute saying, oh, this whole thing of move to Dubai, that'll solve all your problems, and business, lifestyle in the UK is completely fucked. Actually, if you get organised and get things sorted, I know there's loads of problems. The UK is still an amazing place to do business, and there's a lot of talent here. And I just wanted to say that, because I think your environment that you're working within, it's your environment, isn't it? And the way you look at it and the way you act within your environment is your responsibility. If you look at it in a way like, oh, we should be moving to Dubai and keeping up with the Joneses, you're never going to be happy. So a lot of these people that I see talking about the UK's a certain way at the minute, it's our responsibility as business owners, members of society, to talk in a better way and communicate better together to uplift the vibration of the country. Because if we all turn around to each other and say everything's fucked, it's not. Like, we've still got this, we can sort it. And only by being organised, team spirit, going back to all the values we've talked about for the last 40 minutes, that's how this country's going to get back on its feet again. It's not always what's happening at 10 Downing Street. You can sort your little universe out to be a real force. And so I just wanted to get that. What do you think about that?
I don't know where that point started and where it went to. My view on that. So I'm in control of what I'm in control of, regardless of...
We're in this room now together, just us two talking.
Yeah.
And we're in control of that. We can talk in a progressive way. We can talk in a way that's slating something. But we're not people that do that. So what I'm trying to say is I'd like to encourage more people to be more progressive in the way they talk to each other. Because it's easy for a lot of people to slip into just going, oh, that's the way it always was, so that's where it's staying.
That's probably my client's favourite saying. We've always done it that way. So my honest view on it, mate, is there's things that we can't change. So if you waste your time and effort on that, you're not going to be the best that you can be.
Yeah.
And I'll say this to anyone, I say it to my girls, focus on what you can, focus what's in your control and what you can improve, and 1% better each day is better in yourself. So, do you know what? I mean, my view on it is people are going to do what they want to do. I respect that. If they want to move to Dubai, I respect that. Has it crossed my mind? 100%. I won't sit there and lie about it. And that's purely because, again, I was at a meeting a few weeks back, and it was an accountancy firm, and they were talking around tax, inheritance tax, and if you're a business and you die, where that money goes and who it gets left to and who gets taxed on that. And everyone's asking all these corporate fancy questions.
Yeah.
And I just, typical me, anyone that knows me, I say it how it is. At the end of that meeting, there's a board of 4 fully suited and booted characters. And I said, based on everything you've told me there, would you say that I'm better moving to Dubai? Honest truth. They all said yeah. And that was just based on the tax. And to be fair,
people have said it to me. You should move to Dubai. And I'm like, that I could go and I tried 12 years ago, I tried to set Digital Next up in Dubai, and I was actually too far ahead of my time there. So a few years later, we did it in Australia, and it's gone great there.
Yeah.
We've just sold that to a venture capital company in Australia, so that's been a huge success. I could probably do the same in Dubai, but and I think that's a separate matter.
Yeah.
What I think the main thing is the way people communicate and talk about the UK. I think it's our responsibility to be positive about it, so the environment's right. Yes, you can go and move to Dubai and do all these amazing things and different countries. It's exciting. And I'm not being negative towards that. I'm trying to say that's great if that's what you want to do. But I think we've got a responsibility in this country together.
No, we do. And we could go on, and I don't know how people would want to listen to it. But for me, no, genuinely though, I think for me, I agree with you. And my outlook is, I'm in control of what I'm in control of.
Yeah.
So the reason why there's probably this big uproar at the minute is because of the decisions being made up above. No matter what I do, can't change that.
Can't change that.
Because they lie to you anyway. They'll tell you to do all these things to get your vote, and they don't enforce any of it anyway. So you get all these people that take sides.
I know
they're the ones being manipulated by the lies. So
yeah, I think that side of things, politics and media. Yeah. I want to stay out of it, and
that's why people will be negative, though. That's what I'm saying.
It's true. It's easy to get sucked into that, isn't it?
Well, it's all you see. It's all that's shown to us on the news. It's all that's shown to us on social media.
I remember Gary Neville did the overlap with Keir Starmer.
Yes.
Just before the general election, when Keir Starmer got voted, and I think he probably changed a lot of people's perceptions in that overlap series. About Keir Starmer and I think it was one big reason why he actually won the election, one of many. And since then, people have been a bit disgruntled by what's been going on at 10 Downing Street. But what do you think to what Gary Neville said last week on his Instagram? Me being honest,
I was going to say I
was really disappointed in him. Yeah. Especially when you look at his background, he's played for Manchester United. He should be using his platform to unite people, not divide them.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was really disappointing.
I think you've just got to look
I'm a United fan, and it was like,
you're wrecking this off at. I think what you've got to look at, though, mate, for me as well, with something like this is what's the most common cause of death for males under 50?
Suicide. Yeah.
Because of
clearly these men aren't, for whatever reason he was saying what he was saying about them, middle-aged white men. These men are clearly not being heard, are they?
No. Or they're not feeling like they could. It's not. I think it's a bit before that. I feel like they don't feel like they can say as well. So, and even if they get to say it now, they're being heard. And
I think I went to Ricky Hatton's funeral, a tragic story of a superstar of the UK last week, and Ricky Hatton Foundation's just been set up, and that's been set up to help that and to help men. So it's a really positive thing. And
yeah, I mean, got to be careful how much we get into my views on this, but I think people are trying to talk about men more, and you still get these huge debates at the minute of like the whole hierarchy and equality, equal pay, which I think is getting better. I mean, I've never really bothered about it, mate, to be honest, and the reason I haven't is because I couldn't care what your gender is, I couldn't care what your background is. If you're the best fit for the job, you're the best fit for the job, and you'll get the salary to justify it. Always work that way. But the whole thing with men, I do believe more needs to be done. Like there's a big sort of day for International Women's Day, respecting women. I love that. I think it's great. But then kind of when it
should just be a people day.
It should be, because I still think like we're trying to...
Team working day.
Yeah. I'd say I don't know if I want to go down this topic.
No, I think it's one for another podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
But going back to his comments, Gary Neville, he's got a big following. He's respected by a lot of people. He'll be on Sky Sports on Sunday. I think he scored 2 own goals in his career. I think that this is probably a third one for him. But I don't think he's. I think Jamie Carragher's scored a few more own goals than him. So
probably has.
These men who are in media, they've got a responsibility, haven't they? And they should think carefully about what they say.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll have his reasons, but
it's one of them. They are people, and they'll say they're entitled to an opinion. But then what they've got differently from anyone else is they've got that reach, and because they've got that reach, they've got that voice that is being heard, that will be heard from millions.
I couldn't help but feel that there was other powers nudging him to say something divide. I didn't feel like that came fully from him. So, but I think we'll draw the line on that one, because we're going down a rabbit hole. But
we always do when we talk, though, and that's what I love about it.
But I'm just conscious of time, because we've probably been going for about an hour now, and it's been good to sit down with you.
Yeah,
I'd probably like to summarise and maybe wrap up a little bit, maybe now. And what have you got anything planned between now and Christmas? I just wanted to show off at my Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
I think,
you're going to get some.
You should. I've definitely, now I've actually put them on, and I heard the Tony Stark.
They suit you better than me.
The voice. I am going to be getting a pair of them, yeah. Are you taking a picture or filming now?
I don't know. I've not sussed it out yet. They take 2 seconds to come on.
Do they?
There you go, took a picture of you.
No, I've definitely been investing in a pair of them. Planned between now and Christmas, so I would normally say that this is where I'd start winding down, but it's not. I guess that we're really pushing the Nexastride media services, so photography and
gonna up your prices.
Videography days. Do you know what? We've had to up the prices to increase the profit, but we're probably still significantly cheaper than a lot of other. So again, I mean, we did some testing on quotes, and you got people saying they'll come and do like a few reels for you, $3,000, we're sub $1,000. So again,
nice.
We are probably underselling it. I think the more people, I went quiet on networking. I've been to a few events recently, and the more I've spoke to businesses at the minute, and again, just with the recent sort of accolade that I've got with the Inside 42, Under 42.
Yeah, well done on that, mate.
No, thank you, mate. Really
welcome to the club.
Yes.
Yeah, it was one of the first things that I, probably similar time, it's probably 2.5 years into my business, and I got on that list, and it was great to be in a room with so many people. And everyone's just trying to do better, aren't they, in that room?
That's it, and it was great. But for me, it was speaking to those people. So many of them are on that list because they've scaled that fast. And after speaking to them, it's like, we need what you're saying. We could do with that advice. We could do with this. So what I would like to do is look at sort of how I don't sort of have to go in and do the sort of in-depth stuff, but go in and do, right, well, here you go.
You could maybe put this into a video series, to be honest.
It's one of them, mate, but I still do like that face-to-face, so it's understanding
massively.
That,
but like, for example, a topic I don't want to go too much into now, cybersecurity, where with our company's professional indemnity insurance at Digital Next, we've got access to cybersecurity for all of our staff.
Yeah.
And with phishing emails coming into the business all the time, it's majorly MI5 are talking about it in the press at the minute. The head of MI5, MI6, talking about cybersecurity and how these attacks are getting more brutal and more forceful from different nations around the world. It's something that definitely I'm looking at as a business to make sure we're covered and making sure that staff have got a general awareness of it, because it is quite a technical subject. But I'm really keen to get that knowledge into all of our staff so they're aware when they see an email or when they see something that looks fishy, not to click on it. That from the basics right through to, the more complex cyber attacks and crimes.
No, I'd agree with that, definitely. So yeah, it'll be looking at how scaling sort of the consultancy, the operational side, the media stuff, continuing to drive the community that I've just built up recently, the out of office club. That was genuinely done on the fact that I wanted to go for a walk up Snowdon.
Where are we going next?
We've got
the day at Snowdon was fantastic.
Yeah, so I was going to do that anyway, just to give myself some time away. I think you can go to networking events and they're not, again, this is an overused word, but they're not authentic. You're given a name badge and you're not natural. The whole idea was when I sat down and me and Sam said we were going to go up Snowdon. If it was just us two, then we got you on it. And we had the idea of why don't we just put an open invite on it? And the fact is that everyone was striving to the same goal of summiting the highest peak in Wales.
Yeah.
That the conversation and the support was so good that I've never seen anything like it. Because you're talking about climbing a mountain, you're not even thinking about work. But then as you're gradually going through those challenges throughout the walk and you're getting to know each other and you're removing any boundary, it was, well, I'm struggling with that.
Yeah.
And straight away, 3 people around you were like, well, yeah, do you know what? I've had that.
Yeah.
This is how we could help. That doesn't happen in a meeting room.
No,
it doesn't happen in a networking event. And on the back of it, the feedback we got was amazing because people did something, felt like they conquered something. They were around like-minded people who wanted to be driven and motivated and do better. So then we did the second event. That was Helvellyn, and then we've got the third event coming up on the 10th of November, which will be the final summit of the year. Kinder Scouts are very local to Manchester.
Yeah.
We've already got 15 registered for that as well, which is great.
Amazing.
And then probably a sneak peek for this today as well.
Here we go. We've got a drum roll. Can we, post-production, we have a drum roll, please, lads?
There's 2 other things that I've silently been working on.
Sure you want to give it away, Phil?
I'm not going to give anything away other than there is a new business venture being launched in January with someone else. And then there's also stuff that we've been working on that I know we won't discuss, but I do believe that is going to be very exciting coming into 2026.
I think it's the timing with that one, isn't it, for both of us?
Timing for both of us, but then I know that there's an app that I've been working on as well. That, again, I've kept very quiet. You know about this because hopefully you're going to help me bring it to market. We've done all the market research for that. It's gone extremely well and
fits in with a lot of things we're talking about, doesn't it? Without going into it.
It does. It really does. So quietly working on a lot of things, but doing it at the right pace and time. Yeah. I'm really, do you know what, mate? Really excited, but it's not too much, not putting too much pressure on it now. It's making sure I'm doing it at the right time, making sure I'm making time.
Keep
for
your focus, Phil.
Yeah, that's it.
And I just want to probably summarise a few key takeaways from our chat today. First of all, I want to thank Empire Studios, Harry and his team. For great studio. If anyone wants to have a podcast, this is the place to be.
It's gorgeous,
100%. And you know, it's a great setup, and we wish them well with that business. But I think the key takeaways from what we're saying today is, you know, work together with good people. Be mindful of how you communicate with others. I'd say that's a massive one, and that's all of our responsibilities. And be positive, work hard. And good things happen to good people. And, you know, things come along in life to knock you down. Don't let them. See it as a lesson. And I think those things come along to build your resilience.
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of thank you for coming on today, Phil.
No,
it's been a pleasure knowing you in the last few years. And, you know, I'm sure we'll have a lot more conversations in the future
we will.
On more topics, and there'll be more things that happen. But yeah, thanks very much, and I appreciate it.
No, thank you, mate. Been a pleasure, and thank you to the team behind the scenes as well.